Boom, 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 boom.
And
boom.
we're alive.
How's it going, Johnny?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, good. Stuck in Costa Rica still?
Stuck like it's a bad thing.
It's too hot. It's too sunny.
Yeah, okay. We actually had a little bit of freezing rain yesterday, but it's not too bad. But it's funny. You got to love living in Canada. It's like 14 degrees one day in the spring here, and then the next day it's
Minus 14.
minus 10 or something. Yeah. So it just goes back and forth.
Yeah. Well, if you like seasonal changes, I mean, the seasons are pretty amazing. I mean, really.
It is.
It's intense.
It is.
I-
So
I-
you hear
when
a ding dong thing go. I've got my doorbell thing in with my wife in the office there because
Cool.
I have an actual order from our lab coming today, and I don't want to lock the door and have them not bring it.
I'm glad you pointed, so now we know where it is.
Well, everybody thinks I'm in the actual studio itself.
So when I'm down here, it's so hot and sunny every day. I have memories of growing up in Canada, and the most poignant memories I have are summertime. You know, just summers were so intense. And one of my best memories was when I was 34, the first time I had a motorcycle ever. And when June rolled around, I bought it in May. When June rolled around and summer just got really, I'll just never forget that feeling driving down the road with my motorcycle and a t-shirt on. It was amazing. So
Yep.
so today we're going to talk about natural light, but I just want to touch on a few other random thoughts. Check this out. Say hi, Tina.
Tina and a bottle of ketchup.
Yeah, she has a bottle of ketchup. That's her water bottle. She's heading out to yoga very, very, very soon, and she's delayed a bit because she just got news that our city just announced, because we've been bugging them every week. You know, you got to do this when it comes to dealing with people like that. We're on our case constantly. When are you opening up? When are you opening up? When are you opening up? Because they are in charge of a lot of the halls. And the best halls that we use for our pop-up wedding events are managed and owned by the city. So we just found out they're opening up. So she's nailing down dates right now for
You're
this
talking about
summer.
it in Canada?
Hmm?
In Canada or Costa Rica?
No, this is in Sudbury, Ontario.
Okay. Yeah.
That's totally different down here. If you wanted to do something like that down here, no, they're not that organized. you could do something on the beach,
Yep.
and nobody would give a shit.
Yeah.
As long as you don't pollute. But yeah, so she's trying to nail down some dates. So we're thinking of doing a couple of pop-up events. And it's been 2 years since we were able to do a pop-up event at the actual places that we originally started doing them at.
Okay.
Our first year, as you may or may not remember, I don't know, we did them in 2019. That's when we started doing pop-up weddings. And it was a big year. It was a very successful run of events. And there's two specific halls that we rented. One was out in the country, beautiful. People love it out there. It's like a park setting. The other one was on the lake right in town. Beautiful setting, just both so different. And we've had lost access to both of those for the last 2 years. So she's excited about booking
Well, things
those.
have it's been really weird because, of course, last Monday, about 2-3 weeks ago, they dropped the vaccine passport mandate in the area for going into certain things like restaurants and that here in Ontario, which was great.
Right.
But just on Monday, the 21st, they dropped the whole masking mandate. So
Good.
only federal employees and things like that still have to wear them, but provincial wise, you can go into grocery stores, restaurants, everything like that. Don't have to wear a mask. And technically, from what my wife was reading, is by law, they're not even allowed to make you wear one.
Yeah.
You're allowed to wear one if you want. And so you go someplace and some are still wearing them. But it was so nice for this whole week that when we went to the grocery store, or even today, I went in the post office, or
So
even though the
different,
post office is federal, the employees have to wear it, but I don't have to wear it apparently.
Yeah.
And we even went in the grocery store today to get some stuff, and just walking around with no mask on was just so gratifying. So much feeling of freedom finally.
It's so weird that that's the thing, but hopefully we don't return to those.
No, hopefully it sticks.
I heard that some schools, I don't think there's a lot of them, but some people are protesting.
There was in Ottawa, there was a board, one of the school boards was protesting, saying they wanted to wait till at least maybe April 15th because with the March break just passed and all the kids off school for a week for March break, they're afraid they're going to be
Mm-hmm.
visiting with people, having parties, or going away to different places for the March break and then coming back and bringing something with them. So they wanted it to hold off a bit, but apparently
Mm-hmm.
it didn't last long. The
That's good.
government turned it down, their appeal. So
I think some people love the idea of being in a state of fear.
yeah.
So, yeah. One more question for you, Johnny. You did a Facebook live walk the other day. I logged in and started harassing you a little bit.
It was fun.
I was bored.
That's okay. And then my signal cut out on me. So when I came back on, you were gone. You didn't come back.
Yeah, I took it personal. I thought, oh, John doesn't like me anymore.
I walked in a certain area there where I guess the internet signal wasn't great for a split second, and it just shut me right off.
You were in the dead zone.
Yeah.
Well, I'll come back next time you do one if I'm around and bored, and I'll start throwing some.
I do them lazy. If I go for a walk, even if I walk every day, I usually do once or twice a week. I'll do it because go live, just because it's just me to talk with everybody. Almost like if you remember when the pandemic first started, I did my little coffee talk online for like 3 hours, and just talking to people. So it's fun, and it maybe motivates other people to get out there walking and that. So I don't mind. I go on, and I just don't like to waste too much data on my phone. So I just do it once or twice a week. I'll go on live for half an hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah. Good times. So, and it's, I guess for you, or I guess for anybody doing something like that, it's something that would help raise, at least in a small degree, your presence in the community.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I'm actually looking at starting a new podcast, nothing to do with photography itself. It's more of a motivational, inspirational podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We'll maybe start it once a month and see how it goes through YouTube. And if it goes, I'll do it more. And this is that one thing I was telling you about. I got your daughter making a logo for me for it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Cool.
so once it takes off, and I'll probably bring you on one time as one of my guests.
I'm in, man. Anytime.
Be
I love doing
related,
this.
be more motivational, more of how to boost people's mental health, and just things that people went through in their past that they had to dig themselves out of to get into a better state of mind. And I know you've got a lot of good stories about your past.
That's a really
and how
good
you can
topic.
motivate people and help them. So
yeah. So yeah, that's an excellent topic. Looking forward to it, and I wish you nothing but success on that one.
Great. But it will never affect this one. We'll still be doing our weekly NoBS Photo Buzz. This is too much fun.
Okay, my wife's leaving. I'm going to go lock the door.
Bye, Tina.
Bye, Tina. I got to lock the door because it gets windy. Hold on.
All right. And I see that Crystal. I see Crystal's on. How are you doing, Crystal? And hopefully you'll come check it out, Crystal. That would be awesome. I just had Crystal on there. She just said, "Oh, that would be great, John."
Mm-hmm.
And so Crystal's watching.
Cool. Hi, Crystal. Nice to see you. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I want to talk a little bit about marketing, photography, and in general, and get into some lighting talk. But we've been down here we're leaving. We're going home April 24th, and we came here in December, on December 21st. I was really kind of angry when I came down here that they locked me down, and you didn't seem to be too angered by all that, and I'm like, why the hell isn't more people angry that they're locking our small businesses down? I got so pissed off.
Maybe I just needed a break. I don't know.
I'm not saying you should have been. I was just like, But anyways, that's me. So I'm just kind of going to open up a little bit and share a little bit about my background and vis-a-vis the Costa Rica experience. Sometimes I feel bad. I feel a little bit guilty about being down here because it's like such an amazing and exotic experience. However, at the same time, and this is something I've had a minor discussion with some other people who are down here. We all sort of like, we don't want to post too much stuff because it kind of gets people a little bit weird about it. So, so I kind of keep it on the down low. When in fact, the reason we're down here, it's very much like there's two really big points that I want to bring up. On the one hand, it's a buffer for me. I'm buffering out all the 2 years of that COVID thing. I feel it leaving me. It's washing away because it really, really darkened me. So that's good. So I'm kind of like, I was ready to just sell everything and move here. We didn't because,
I remember you talking about that.
Oh, yeah, it was like 110% ready. And there are a lot of people down here, and people are moving to other places similar with the same attitude. Never did. I'm not saying I should have or could have, or neither here nor there as to what was the best decision, but it doesn't matter. So we're going home in about 4 weeks. I feel very, very fortunate that I have back home a studio, and I can go back to it now, fire up the Fairy Day events, which we got a whole roster of that, and the pop-up weddings. We're going to go home and earn a pretty decent living and come back here next winter and just repeat. May only come back 3 months next year, may move here permanently, but this is no different than, I don't know about your area, John, and I don't know if Crystal is still here, if she has a similar experience up in Prince George, where almost everybody I know has a summer cottage. Right? That's pretty popular. This is our summer cottage, except it's in reverse. I work Sundays and 7 days a week, April to December. My summer cottage is in the winter time. So anyways, I say that because I'm justifying.
Yeah. Maybe Colleen and I'll do that one day and we'll become your neighbors or something.
There you go. We got lots. Yeah, there's lots of opportunities. So, but my point too is to say that I think it's important to say, well, what do I want my life to look like, and then move towards making that happen. So I have people that I know very close to me who say, oh, you're so lucky you get to travel. I'm like, no, it's got nothing to do with luck. We worked hard and we planned, and it took year after year after year of working towards it. And then boom, one little opportunity opens up. And so you take advantage of it. And it's makes you feel a little uncomfortable when you step out of your comfort zone. And then you just do it that way. Thankfully, my wife, and I joked about this many, many times, our first date was after a squash game back in 1994. First year I had a motorcycle. And I love motorcycling. So I asked her if she wanted to go for nachos, and she said, yeah, let's go for nachos. It was a very casual date. And then I said, well, can I pick you up on my motorcycle? And her eyes lit up, which was like, she could have easily said, no, motorcycles scare me. And I might not have pursued a second date after that. I might not have, because to me it was important, at least at a subconscious level, that she was open to adventure. So that was a quality that I appreciated in her, and she's always been that way. And it helps when you're in business with your spouse that you have these qualities that match up and align. So, but anyways, it's neither here nor there. I wanted to get that stuff. Crystal did I think I saw that post, Crystal. I'm gonna go read it again. I'm not sure if your post was more about getting through struggles and stuff, or was it more about cottages? It seemed to me it was more about. Can you find it, Johnny?
Yeah, I can find it. It's just on her profile page.
Yeah, I would assume it is. You don't mind if we talk about that a little bit, Crystal?
And by the way, when you come back in April and you don't go back again until maybe December, what happens to your place during that time? Do you lock it up? Do you have somebody rent it while they're gone, take care of it, or?
Our house, our daughter's living with us. She's got the place to herself.
No, but what about Costa Rica, the place there?
Oh, no, we rent it out.
Yeah. You don't rent it?
No, we rent it out on Airbnb.
Yeah, okay. So you have somebody actually taking care of it while you're gone.
Yeah, we have a property manager. She's a local. She's very good. Her name is Rosa. We pay her, a fee every month. And when we rent it out, we just let her know, okay, somebody's moving in on Friday for 2 weeks. Can you make sure they have a key and blah, blah, blah. So if there's an issue, like a toilet gets plugged, we call her, email her and say, we got an issue. She's on it, man. We make some money, and it helps alleviate the bills that we have. So
why not? Exactly.
Yeah.
I think this is what you're talking about here.
From the outside looking, that's the one. I read that. On the bill, what I have. Yeah, so that's some very good points there. My daughter said to me, "It looks like it was easy to get your ferry." I'm yeah, it was easy. Yeah, it was easy, wasn't it? It was. I kind of know um, Crystal's story because obviously we had her on twice, and um, it seemed to me you were like pushing a penny up a mountain using your nose, and it wasn't easy at all. You talked about your wings, yeah. So yeah, it's easy for others to see how things appear to be on the outside once you've achieved it. And if people would realize that it's probably 50 times more work than you think it is, and
Hmm.
then B, be willing to accept that
Yep.
and say, and to me, I got that lesson a long time ago. And even when reading books like Think and Grow Rich or from Napoleon Hill, he's got this concept called accurate thinking, which means, you know, assess the situation, whatever it is, accurately and look at it for what it is. And
Hmm.
so when I go into a situation, one of the first things I do, and I'm an optimist,
Yep.
but I'm a detail pessimist. So let's say, for example, pop-up weddings, which we started 3 years ago. Go in there, we set it up. We had this idea, never done this before. Okay, what are 10 things that could go wrong? And then let's anticipate them all, and let's
Hmm.
prepare and be ready for when shit hits the fan. And shit always hits the fan, and things and things go wrong. And so
Yep.
if you have the right mindset, you're like, I'm just going to keep pursuing and pushing and working through it. So
Yep. That's
look at
all you
what
can do, really.
yeah, look at Crystal says. So worth it though. Not luck, hard work, struggles. That's a good one. That's a good topic. We could talk for hours on that topic.
Yep.
So I think there's this false illusion about having security and making you feel safe. So
Yep.
fear probably plays a big part of that.
Definitely. Well, I like her last paragraph there. It says, the dream began 10 years ago. 2 years ago, I felt my skills had improved enough to be able to jump. So I jumped and worked my ass off and listened to my intuition every single step of the way. Luck had nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, just
Intuition.
reiterating everything you just said.
Intuition's a big one. Gut feel.
Yep.
Amazing. So I want to talk a little bit quickly about Paul Maynard. We had him on last week or two
Hmm.
weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago?
It was last week.
So he does real estate photography. I was blown away by what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I don't do real estate. I have no intention on getting into real estate. But I went and bought his real estate course. It was $200.
Yeah.
And I asked him if you and I can share it. So I'm currently 75% through the course. So every day I've been watching some of his
Yep.
videos.
I think I'm about
And
75% too. There's some that says coming soon that they're not even done yet.
yeah. And I'm gonna send him very
He
soon. I'm
wants us
gonna
to give him our critique in that, but
yeah.
overall, I'm very impressed with it.
So there it is. Can you see the screen?
Yep, I can see it.
So I'm up to number section 10, chapter 1. And every day I write down where I'm at because I will forget. And I watch one or two videos and I'm really impressed. I'm like, part of me is going like, oh, maybe I should get into real estate photography.
And I am doing. That's why I was watching, because I do real estate photography. I actually just had a realtor in here yesterday, a new guy in town,
Yep.
came to get his headshots done, and he was asking me, "Hey, do you do listings?" I'm like, "Yes, I do listings." So
This is a damn good course. I'm learning so much from it, and he's really got it well put together.
yeah.
So, and I like a lot of his core principles, which is save time, get the job done, and add value that his competition can't add. I'm learning a lot of the technical stuff too. A lot of it I know, but it's
Hmm.
good to go through that stuff.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to mention that because I'm really, really enjoying that particular real estate program, and I really encourage anybody. I think it's still on sale for it's only $200 US.
Yeah, about $200, and then it's going to go up to. He probably said he's not sure, but maybe around the $800 to $900, like the
Yeah,
899, like that. So it's well worth it to get in on it now on the ground floor.
Yeah, if you're into that kind of stuff, I can't imagine there being a better system. So
No,
just
because I
wanted
know,
to.
like, I'm actually have a video course like this too, learning how to do video for companies,
Mhm.
like branding videos and that. And I wanted to ask him about his platform he's using for this, because the video one I'm watching is the exact same platform. The template looks identical. So I'm wondering if
His
it's like Patreon or what
his
they're
is.
using to do
I already asked him that. It's Kajabi. He uses Kajabi.
Okay, I'll have to look at that, because I want to. I've actually in talks with my video guy here, and we're gonna actually put out my own little beginner photography course the same way for people that want to
Okay.
learn how to use their camera, similar to like I teach in my classes here, but put it on video, and then
Yeah.
I can even I can not only have it available to the public where you can sell all over the world. You can be making money while you're sleeping, but you
Yeah.
can also, any of the people I do my courses here, when they're finished the course, I can give them a discount code that because you took my course, if you want to continue learning, go get my course online, and it reiterates
Uh-huh.
almost everything we did, but you have access to it 24/7, and I'll give you a discount by taking my course.
Well, that's
Ah,
something that's very close to me because that's something I've been doing with NoBS Photo Success since
yep,
2004.
yep,
And been doing a lot of research. One of the reasons I wanted to sign up with Paul's real estate course was to see how he's doing it. See, well, the content. I want to
yep.
become a better photographer and marketer, which is definitely helping. Even though I may never get into real estate photography, it doesn't matter. I'm still learning tons, but I'm like also, okay, what's he doing as far as how's he delivering it, and what's the layout, and so I've got some ideas for John. I'll share it with you later on if you
Cool.
want
Well, maybe we
to.
can do we can do a combined thing together. Maybe I can get you on doing some of the actual um what do you call them, modules or something. We'll bring you in
Mhm.
and we'll do some. We'll talk.
We will talk later, and more to come. So, but anyways, yeah, I wanted to mention that. So, and also let's get into some of the other stuff.
Some
I'm going
lighting.
to
You wanted
show
to talk about
you
lighting today too, and marketing. You said.
a little bit on marketing.
Yeah,
Can you see this?
I can can. The home accent store.
So that's just right beside. This is an older picture. This is going back to 2008 ish. Um, right beside there was our local video rent. Remember Blockbusters?
Yep, I do. We still have the old Blockbuster with the sign on there, even though it's not Blockbuster anymore. It's Stein Street.
Right. Well, we have in our city we had Blockbusters. They're all closed now, obviously, but there was also Bianco's, which is a local guy who had he was a big name in our city, and they had Bianco's video, and we used to go there and rent just like Blockbusters. We go to either or. Right beside there in this mall on a very busy street was this new store. And my wife and I went and got a movie, and we said, "Well, let's go check it out." We like my wife loves decorating, so let's go check it out. And we walked in there, and it was literally like we got the coldest, iciest stare from, I'm assuming it was the manager or manager owner, probably the owner, and it was like as if, "What the fuck are you doing here?" You know, that's the feeling I got. It's like, "Get out! You're bothering me."
Yeah.
I was like, just felt that, I can't prove it, but I felt it. And we walked around. We said, okay, some nice stuff in here. And we left. We sat in the car. I turned to my wife. I said, they're gone in under a year. Boom. They're gone. This was 6 months later.
Mm-hmm.
I was right. I'm pretty good at predicting this shit. And I used to show this picture and when I used to do marketing presentations. And then I'd show this picture. This is at our local newspaper. Lack of interest, Scuttle's workshop, a retail workshop scheduled for today at Market Square, Regional Business Center, in the Chamber of Commerce in Sudbury downtown. Will not give the presentation prospering in the big box retail world due to lack of registration.
Mm-hmm.
So this tells me that apathy is a dream killer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that because I think it's worthy to note that it all starts with you, the owner, as hold on here, as the core starting place for any business. So, yeah, so there you go. I wanted to start with that. I wanted to mention that. It's kind of sad that there is so much apathy in business. And why in the hell would you be so cold if you're going to start a photography studio? Not a photography studio, but any retail business, especially retail, you
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
For me, it would be like, all right, what can we do to just blow them away when they walk in the door? You know,
Well,
what
people
do
don't
they?
understand retail. You got to be a people person. You got to be
Yeah,
personable and be approachable. And if you're just gonna be a cold
makes
person,
no
then
sense.
no, it's just gonna shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, so I just want to make a point of that.
That's the thing.
So
People don't realize the marketing and networking is a big part of your business. If you want to do this full time, you can't just be a good photographer. You got to be a businessman. You got to be a personable person. You got to know how to market, because it all goes in 20, maybe 15, 20% is actually shooting. The rest is dealing with people.
yeah, nobody knows that more than Maggie.
You walk into Maggie's place, you get a rose handed to you right when you walk in.
Oh, and that's the most amazing. She just like radiates love and passion and
Yeah.
gratitude and happiness. And everybody loves Maggie. So,
She's the
yeah.
good witch of the South in Ontario. We're the bad witches.
There you go. So, okay, I'm going to go
I
through
meant
some.
witch in a good way too. I'm
Yeah,
not
no,
trying to say that.
I
It
knew you
probably
meant
came
that.
out the wrong way if she's watching this. I didn't
You
mean
see
it
my
that way.
You see my images?
I do.
Okay. Before I get into actual natural light, this kind of applies. But this was a couple of years ago. I did a wedding, and I shot some. The bride and groom, they were in the reception. It was getting late. I always bring them out for some sunset shots, I call them.
Yep.
And I would have liked to have gone out later, but we were limited, so they came out. So this is the one I shot, and this is the one my assistant shot. See, my assistant shot this one.
Still a great shot though. I love the light flare.
This one here.
Oh no, the one after. Or maybe it was the one you shot then.
The good
That's
ones
still
are
nice.
mine. The good ones are mine. This is
Oh, there you
mine.
go.
Mine.
Yeah,
Mine.
those ones are cool.
Not
It's a
sure
better
about
angle
that
too.
one.
The other one that your assistant shot had a pole coming out of his face.
Yeah. And these are mine. So this is a parking lot that's very industrial looking, and we didn't have a lot. And this is my assistant. I mean, I'm like, oh God. So I don't know. I use these images, by the way, and when I'm talking with the bride and groom who are shopping, I try and show them the difference between. I have more pictures. I have a whole folder from weddings that I've shot where I got my images, and then grandma with her cell phone, or Aunt May with her cell phone, and I showed the difference because I want to remind people, because people tend to think that if you got a camera, that's all you need. So let's go to natural light.
Yeah,
You recognize this guy?
I do. He's now in. Don't tell me. I think he's in Boston now.
So he's a captain, or
He's for
was
Boston
he?
Bruins now, I think.
Yeah, this is in our city. His dad was an NHL hockey player.
Yep.
I think his
For
brother.
Toronto and Buffalo's dad.
So I'm not a sports guy. So I was asked to shoot this for a local lifestyle magazine, and I recognized early on that, oh, this guy's famous.
Yeah. You have to
People
call
love
me
him.
next time you have to shoot him, and then I'll come be your assistant.
All right, I will. So I blew this up, or maybe not this image, but from this shoot, I blew it up, and I have a 30-inch. It's one of the first images you see when you walk into my studio. I wanted to do that on purpose. And I kind of tend to do that with images that are very high impact or have a story to them. So it's one of the first things people see when they walk in. But this is natural light. That's the point of this. I did some outdoor shots with off camera flash, and we went in the house, and I noticed this right away, and I said, "This is all I need. I'm not going to use any flash."
No.
And
High ISO or
I don't remember.
I don't think so, because it looks like a pretty bright house. You probably wouldn't have to go too high.
No, but it could be 300 or 400, maybe not. And I'm pretty sure I'm handheld. I think 70 to 200. I don't even know which zoom setting I'm at, but this was about 6-7 years ago.
That's probably high aperture too, right? Like a large aperture, like a 2.8 or 1.4.
This would have been at 2.8, yeah. So the little girl was a little high maintenance, and I'm asking them to interact with her, and but the light pouring in on the left. This is 100% all natural. So the
Yep.
way I would have shot this was roughly pose them up, ask her to bend her legs, see how her left leg's bent.
Mhm.
And she's holding her tummy because she's pregnant.
Okay.
And then I just got into position.
I like
And
how his thumb or kind of his hands kind of touching her elbow a bit there. It gives that connection.
Yeah. I probably would have liked it if his hand would have been touching her arm a little
I agree.
better, but whatever, you know. I'm shooting fast and furious, and I'm adjusting my exposure because there's a lot of backlighting going on here. So I would have compensated by, well, I would have shot it manual and best exposure and just boom, 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 just shot a whole series of pictures, and that was the ones they used for the cover. So that's often natural light works. We call this natural light. It's just window light. That's all it is. So I just wanted to start with that one. So here's another natural light shot from a couple of years ago here in Costa Rica. There's a restaurant here actually run by a couple who are from Sudbury, Ontario, oddly enough. This is just around the corner from where we live. So we see them on occasion. It's one of the most successful restaurants in town. And so they asked us to do their menu items a couple of years ago. We also shot their wedding the winter of COVID. They had a nice wedding in their backyard. They live here at their restaurant, and there's an apartment in the back. So in the backyard, they got a pool and a tiki bar, and they had like 60 people there. It was kind of cool. And they got married back there, and they paid us to shoot their wedding as well. Anyways, so this is natural light. So there's my camera with the 85 1.8 Batis lens, which I absolutely love. And here's Tina holding the reflector. And here's the scene. So see all these little sparkle lights. And you might have seen this before. I'm not sure. But there's the light source. Now, this is something I always kind of look for. And this is along lines of the fuzzy dunkle approach. You know, he always uses subtractive lighting on top.
Yep.
And that's something I really like. And I wish I could apply. He like all his high school senior shots, I don't know if you could do it so much with families unless you have a large overhead tree sort of canopy. But it's hard to do with larger groups where he brings his blocker. He's got the black fabric blocker.
Yep.
But for individuals, he uses that. And it really has a wonderful effect as far as blocking the light from the top. So, but anyways, I noticed that when I'm shooting this, and here's the light sources coming from the side, and there's the end result.
That's gorgeous.
It's not bad, eh? And that's shot at 1.8 wide open with that camera, that lens.
What's kind of cool is those reflections from those lights there.
Yeah.
They kind of circle the glass a little bit, almost like frames it. Makes your eye go right to the glass.
It does, and there they are. You could see there's a couple light bulbs missing right here. What do you call that? Circles of confusion or bokeh?
Bokeh.
Bokeh?
Some say bouquet, some say bokeh.
That thing.
Okeh.
It's kind of magical.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, for a menu item, this could be 1,000 ISO. I don't remember. It's whatever. I don't care.
Well, the cameras nowadays, you can get away with that.
Yeah, easy with the Sony. Really easy with the Sony. So probably the new Canon as well. I would imagine the ISO.
I would think so. I don't have the newer one, but I agree with you. I think you could.
Yeah. So this is sharp, 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 sharp. The edge of the rim up here is a little bit out of focus, but that's okay.
Fine.
Doesn't bother me.
No.
Oh,
I'm happy there.
It's because she's working with Dad. This
She's
is a couple years.
Dad, you taking my picture again?
A couple of years ago, we're doing a wedding. She was my assistant. She's been my assistant on many, many. What's this metal all about? I just never noticed that. So we showed up at this one wedding. This is the bride's home, and I start looking for natural light right away. It's the first thing I start doing. And I noticed this. So this is Danielle, and I'm catching all kinds of reflections coming off the ground. You could see it in her eyes. And I'm looking for that, and I noticed this spot right down here. What I like about this spot are two things. One, there's a banister up here, and I could shoot down.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a reflection off the carpeted floor right here. The
Yeah, that's like a
stairs.
reflector.
Yeah, and that's what I want, if I can get it. See? In the eyeballs. So I know you like shooting weddings, John, so you can concur with everything I'm saying.
My favorite thing.
You know, I like weddings. I like the joy, the happiness, the excitement, the photo opportunities. You know, when you do a crap shoot, you just go out and you just start shooting randomly.
Mm-hmm.
You just have fun shooting anything, whatever pops up. That applies to shooting weddings. You just go in a situation and you look for details, you look for candid opportunities, you look for opportunities with lighting to find areas in lighting scenarios to shoot pictures of the bride and groom, or whomever, or whatever. So I like that stuff. It's challenging, it's fun, and I really like weddings now that we're doing the pop-up weddings, because no more late nights hardly. Well, we got a bunch of full weddings booked. I'm gonna be getting home at 11 or so, but I really like the other version of weddings, the pop-up weddings. If we do 3-4 weddings in a day now with the pop-up wedding,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm home usually by 7.
Very cool. And you've done 3 of them, and they're out of the way. And
Yeah, it's a good payday. So there's the bride. I asked her eventually to go down there, and this is just an overview shot to show you guys. And you can see the light coming in the window, and then I had her look up, and this is the end result. So I'm
Very
shooting
beautiful.
this one from here.
Yep.
Yeah. There's the window light and the reflection off the stairs coming in on her eyeball right
Yeah,
here.
you can see it right there. Yeah,
So it's nice lighting.
it is very nice.
Here's another wedding from more recent, and this is the hall. And I don't know why I'm showing that shot. That shot is completely irrelevant. This is the shot I wanted to show. So this is heading west right here, and there's this light. The sun's late in the day pouring in, and I'm looking at it going, ooh, that would make a good light source.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked the bridesmaid, I said, come on over here, I want to get a shot of you. And that's what I shot. So I already photographed the bridesmaids, but I said, let's do a second series of images, and they're always on for it. They're having fun. They're all in the room, and there's this big lull in the reception. So I photographed all the bridesmaids again using this window here. So see where she is right there?
Yep, right there. Yeah.
That's roughly where I'm posing them. My
Okay.
back is facing the window, so the light is very flat, shooting wide open, the 85 mil 1.8 wide open. It works.
It does.
You got the people out of focus in the background.
So it's not distracting.
Not too bad.
No, nothing wrong with that at all.
This was like the bride's niece and nephew. I said, oh, I got to get a picture of you guys because she loves you guys, you know. So, yeah, here's another wedding scenario with the same, what do we call her? Wedding assistant. Yeah, my daughter. Do you do white balance great cards?
I don't do grade cards. I do sometimes. I do have a pop-up one. It's like about, I don't know, 10 inches. And it pops open, and it's gray on one side and white on the other. And then I also have the, what is it? The X-Rite passport checker thing, where it's like it opens up like a card, and it's got all the different colors, and then it's got black and white. And then on the other side, it does have a white gray card type thing on it. So I use that sometimes too.
Yeah. That's cool. I have 2 great cards in my camera case. I rarely pull them out. And
I also have an Expo disc. Have you ever used those?
Yes, I have one of those.
And actually, it's pretty accurate if you get it in the right spot. It is pretty good.
So an Expo disc is designed to put in front of your lens when you're shooting a custom white balance.
Yes, and then you would go where Danielle is standing right there and point your camera back to the light source that's going to be hitting it, and you take the picture of that at the exposure, and it puts like a neutral white or gray kind of exposure in your camera, and then you set your camera to that exposure for all the shots that are going to be in that same light source. And actually, I've done it a couple times, and it works really nice. I know a guy who does do it in all day for his weddings. He loves it.
I used to. I quit that years ago. And on this wedding, I was just saying, oh, you know what? I'll try it. I'm just always trying to. So that's the only reason I did this shot. This is open shade. A lot of people might disagree with the way I do my white balance. I do one of two things. My camera's always set at 5600K. So it's like daylight film. And I just shoot. I shoot everything that way. Or I go to automatic white balance. And Paul Maynard, with his real estate photography, he shoots 6 images bracketed and then 1 image with a flash, and then he brings it all HDR into that photo matrix. So he shoots one with a flash to clear out the white balance in case there's like
a cast.
Yeah. So, but similarly, I kind of he shoots those on automatic auto white balance, which I use occasionally. When I'm doing portrait type stuff, I'm always at 5600.
Yep.
Like just mimicking the film days when that's what it was 5600. And I'm not saying that that's what everybody should do. And I'm not saying this is the hill I'm ready to die on. I'm just saying it's what I do. It's what works. And
that's the main thing if it works.
We used to argue about this shit 15 years ago when digital came out, if you remember. It was like literally you would lose friends over it. It was like a religious fervor.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Now, I do say, and I admire Fuzzy Dunkle. And as you know, I got a 5-part series with him in the NoBS forum.
Yes.
I ran about 5 years ago. Nobody, in my opinion, from what I've observed, does a better job of nailing down and understanding at the very highest scientific and technical levels when it comes to white balance. His stuff is just so beautiful.
Yep.
I'm just not willing to go there.
No, it's at that point now. It's almost like the old RAW versus JPEG, Canon versus Nikon. Yeah. Everybody has their opinions, and it's like, as long as it gets the job done, the client doesn't care what you did to get the job done and get a good picture.
Yeah. So I was having fun doing it. I thought I'm just going to try it for this one wedding. And this is shot with, this is the wide lens, and then this is with my portrait lens. I don't remember which one. And you can see the light. There's open sky here. And
right in the twinkle of her eye there.
Yeah, and there I am on top of this. So this is under an overpass, which creates subtractive lighting in a sense, but it also gives me an opportunity to get up high. I have to climb this huge embankment all full of big rocks, and people are freaking out whenever I do that. They're like, "Oh my God, you're going to climb that?" And I said, "Yeah, watch me." And he shouldn't do that at his age.
At his age.
But I do it. And they're all like, "Oh, okay, this guy's got it." And here's the same underpass right here. I think the white balance is pretty good. I think this would have been a little bit better had I underexposed it to get that sky darker.
Yeah, but now you can get that thing that Paul was talking about last week, that Aurora sky thing, and just add it in yourself.
Shit, there you go. I never thought of that. That's cool.
Then you have
That's
to worry
true.
about it.
Guaranteed blue sky.
Yep.
So here I am shooting from the top. So
that's awesome. I love it.
The bride and groom in this shot is roughly just over here. And that's me right there shooting down. I go there quite a bit. I get these cool angles and I get all the girls. Okay, I thought I had more here. Look at the dirt. See, so this is a raw image. I would clean this stuff up normally. All the needles and cigarette butts and empty coffee cans. But that's
you don't want to keep those in?
That's not the point. So the point is that I'm creating different angles, and that's how I do my work with the white balance and natural light. Natural light. The sky always creates a nice spark in the eye. I know it's hard to see here, but it reflects in the eyes, especially her eyes because they're larger.
Yeah,
than
you can
his.
see them already.
So it creates that nice spark and specular highlights in the eyeballs. This one's more color balanced, you can tell. This is probably straight off the camera. Probably. I did a whole series of pictures, everybody just walking around circling the bride. I did a whole series of pictures of everybody laying down on the ground. I did some really, really funky ass pictures of the bridal party doing that. I don't know if you've seen those before, but what a cool opportunity to get some cool angles. So.
I'm just going through on as you're talking. I'm looking at your stuff, but I'm also going through some of mine and finding some natural light stuff that I can share with you after too.
Here's a family I shot in 1998.
Mm-hmm.
I always
Film
remember
days, obviously.
Yeah, this is film, and I shot this at. This was with my cell phone or my point and shoot. She got married a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And this was a wall portrait. You could tell it's got a linen finish on it. And she had it in her house. She said, "Oh, you remember you did the family photo?" And she showed it to me. I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool." And they went back to the same spot a couple of years later.
Same family.
Not the same dog. This dog died. His name was Socks. I always remember that name. But they got another one. So we mimicked the same pose. And there's her wedding right there. So
That's her wedding. Okay.
Wedding here a couple of years later.
Wow.
And this was shot she got married in October. It was a rainy day. It was on and off. You can see sun creeping out here. I like that late day when the sun's getting a little bit muffled by the clouds and it's almost magical. So I look for that, especially shooting outdoors, and creates a nice sparkly glow. It's very, very magical. I don't have to use any flash or anything like that. So here's the mom and dad. Okay, so we did this one, and then 10 years later or so, we did this one, and then we did one around the same time they got married. So we did 3 sessions for them.
Exact same spot.
Exact same spot. It's called Onaping Falls. And here's what I'm talking about, subtractive lighting. See Tina's holding that? Now I should be using, and I do have one now, with a black side on it right here. Okay. But however, it works, and you could see in the pictures that are coming up. This is very much a fuzzy dunkle system that I got this right from him.
So that's more translucent right now, the one on top.
Yeah, well, it's white.
So some light's getting through.
A little. It's not. No, not really. Not this one. It's not translucent. This is white on one side. It's gold on the other side. This is an all-out reflector. But I do have a translucent one.
Yep. Well, I have the 5-in-1, which does all of it.
Yeah. So. Then that's what I got too, and it's got black on one side, and that's what I should have used here to do it properly. So Fuzzy uses like what do you call those, like menu boards that are on the sidewalk? They're about 2 or 3 feet tall.
The A-frames.
He uses one of those with silver, like very shiny material, and instead of having to hold it with somebody here,
that's kind of a neat idea.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, I'm going to build one of those out of plastic, so it's nice and light. Okay, so there's the same. That's their daughter. Hold on, I'm going to go back. That's her right here.
That's the one that was getting married?
No.
That one.
No,
okay, okay.
Her.
Yep.
It's the youngest daughter.
Yep.
She's the oldest daughter, got married. This is the lighting of this. So when I shot this, I had everybody go through. So I had mom and dad, I had the family, I had the one couple, and then the other couple. I think all 3 of them had their see the ring, they were getting married.
Okay, I see it.
But look at how nice that light is.
It's gorgeous.
Subtractive lighting. You got the nice kicker light coming in, and you could see the light coming in off the eyeballs. Off the eyeballs. Handsome looking couple, And there's her and her. At that time, that's them. Okay.
That's awesome.
Super nice couple.
Basically, grow up with the family.
Basically, yeah. I have, as you do, so many families that's the case. It's kind of cool.
It is very cool.
Anyways, I wanted to talk about that for a minute. Here's an engagement from a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Everything's from a couple of years ago almost, because of the fact that, damn it all, like this is the Midway, and the Midway never happened in the last 2 years. So they wanted their engagement pictures at the Midway. So we went there, and there's lots of really cool lights. So we just walked around, just had a lot of fun, and shooting with the 85. I've since got the 135 2.8 Batis lens, and I would have used it more. And all natural light. So let's move on. So I went and shot this guy. He's the dean of the Huntington University in our city, a little part of Laurentian University. So I'm trying to get some something going with the main light. I had a small softbox and I just couldn't kill the reflector. See the reflection?
You can see it right in the window. Yeah.
I couldn't
Easily
kill
get rid
the.
of those since you got some squares there beside it. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Plane, just clone over top.
Well, I eventually said, screw it. I'm just going window light. That's all this is. There's a window in his office.
Beautiful.
So I put it on the tripod. I had to slow down the exposure. And it's like portrait lighting.
It works. I like the Batman on his TV screen there.
Yeah, that's his thing. And, you know, all of these things, you know, he's got this metal and
little head there.
Notepads. And that has something to do with something. I don't know. So, you know,
awesome.
he's an academic. And so anyways, the
lighting's perfect on him.
I think it is too. And, you know, this was a fail. Let's move on. Boom. Go with natural light. There it is, right under my nose. So here's a wedding a couple of years ago, and here's me shooting it. So the window, always, if you want really cool lighting, just like the wedding I showed you earlier at the reception hall, just put the picture window behind you, and that's what you'll get.
I love it.
Easy,
nice flat light. Peter Hurley light, they used to call it, because that's how he started, was just a window right behind him, and that's how he did his portraits to start with, a window right behind him.
Here's I love churches that have lots of window light pouring in. This is a Greek Orthodox church. There's my daughter way back there. She shoots. She's waiting for the bride and groom to come in, or the bride rather. So she shoots from when I have an assistant, which is not really that often. I'll get them to shoot from behind, and I'm up at the front. So all natural light, no flash. If we got lots of that going on, that's how I'm going to shoot the wedding reception or the ceremony.
Yeah.
Especially if they have candles. I mean, why would you want to just like have this annoying flash going off?
Exactly.
You know, we got high ISO capability. This is probably 8,000 ISO, probably, very well could be. And I'm just shooting little moments here during the ceremony. Here's a very recent wedding, and so there's the scene, the windows. You can see the window to the left. There's a candid shot. So here's the lighting. I think that's my wife holding the reflector.
Looks
yeah,
like
it is.
Yeah.
My wife
they used to call that if you bought that, and you made that one, I think. But when you bought
that one, I bought
or something like that.
Jerry Gionis sold these. It's called the Omega
reflector. I think
the Omega light. I have one that's homemade here down in Costa Rica. I just took a big reflector and cut a hole in the middle and put duct tape around it.
Do you like the look with it?
Well, there it is. One window light, one Omega reflector. I didn't even really need the Omega reflector. However, I used it. Probably because I had it. And you can see I'm mostly after the light on the bottom here. I want that double specular. And you will get that when you have something bouncing on the bottom. Just predominantly, well, there's a large area here. So I would have stood right here, shooting back at her. One window light. The only thing about this image that bothers me is this light coming in behind. If I'd have just moved a little bit to my right, I could have blocked most of that out. Here's a family I shot. This is about, this is back around 2011, I think. And I really, really screwed up this session because they had me go back a couple of years ago, and I'll explain why in a minute. So I used to shoot a lot more just open sky if I thought it would work. And that's what this is. So the sun's setting behind him, but there's open sky to the left, and it works. And there's the same family just over in the forest. And there I am. I went back a couple of years ago. And this is like 9:30 at night. There's just a little bit of light left in the sky. I really messed up because what I had done, this is a 40-minute drive. I had my camera by my front door, and my wife and I got there, and I forgot the damn camera bag. So I said, you got to hold them off. I told him, I forgot my camera. I'm sorry. And I raced back. I'm surprised I didn't get a speeding ticket. And then I went back and I had just enough light to shoot this and this. But you know, you got open sky. It'll work. It's not
Yep.
optimum. And I realized I'm not really. It works. It's not, to me. It's not optimum anymore. As much as I used to think this was fine. But if I see where they are,
Yep.
no. If I go or see where Dad is, if I'm Dad and I'm shooting back, this is the light that I get because of the open sky.
Yes.
Right behind them, you see the open sky behind them.
Yep.
And this is late in the day, man. This is 9:30. You know how late the sun sets up in Northern Ontario, Johnny. You live it. So we got that just the
But
last.
you got it working.
I got to work it. This is a
And
high.
they don't care how you get it, as long as you get the images. They're not worrying about it.
Yeah. Oh, every time I think about this shoot, I think, I screwed it up so bad.
Yeah, but don't like I said, don't let them see you sweat, because make it like you did it all on purpose. It was meant to be that way.
So here, and I'm rushing because I'm really racing to get the last bit of light. So here's a reflector on the right. So, while I'm shooting these, I'm like, I'm going to shoot these. I'm not crazy about it. This is what I'm preferred, because the lighting is brings out the eyeballs. So when I'm working with natural light, I'm really, really trying to bring out the eyeballs, as you can see.
Yeah.
You can see in Dad's eyes here, he's got those bright blue eyes. Right? So anyways, so wedding, and this is open shade-ish at a park, and long lens 2.8. Probably this is going back to Nikon days with the 70 to 200. And the light is predominantly coming off her. So this is something you got to be aware of. And I see a lot of photographers make this mistake. If the groom's on the right and the bride's on the left and he's getting the majority of the light, switch them around. You got to spot that. Give her the radiance and give her the glow. And there's just light coming in over the trees, predominantly open shade, and did a whole series of pictures. When you see the light doing that in open shade, you're going to get some really good lighting opportunities. And also open shade, looking up. I love doing these. I do them all the time. I do these all the time. There's late in the day, my daughter on her horse a couple of years ago. There's my daughter from last summer. She wanted a photo shoot. Late in the day. And you can see the sun's peeking out.
Mm-hmm.
See the open sky coming in on her eyeballs right there.
Yeah.
That's east. That's east. Right behind her is west, and you can see and shooting handheld. This is with the 135 Batis 2.8, and window light, Peter Hurley.
Mm-hmm. Gorgeous.
Yeah. So this is a couple months ago here in Costa Rica, and I noticed the same idea. It's the same idea as this. Is open shade, and I noticed that I had all my lights set up. When they showed up, I'm like, I was gonna go shoot one way, and at the last minute I said, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna do open shade, and that's what I did. It's nice lighting.
Yep.
Very, very functional. And you can see. I
find ever since we got into off-camera flash, I do that a lot more, and I try sometimes to go back to open shade sometimes, because it is a different look a little bit.
Sometimes, yeah. Depends on what your situation is, what you think is going to get the job done, depending on how much time. And I'm always a little bit aware of the fact that I don't want to drag it out too much and have the clients get there all annoyed at me because this guy's taking forever. I mean, if you really need your flashes to do an exquisite job and it's vital, yes, I don't care. I'm going to make you guys wait. We're going to get this done. Do you have some images you wanted to show?
Yeah, I can show you a couple. I grabbed some off. I was trying to see if I could find, but I don't think he has it on his page here. I was going to show the backyard of the first shot, but we go without it. But I just had it. Where is it here? All right, there it is. So I'll go settings, share, and we're going to see if you can see that.
I've seen that image before.
Yeah, so that was actually a gentleman who actually does all the signage at my building here. He has a company here that does all like billboards. He does the sign above my building that has my logo on it and all the signs inside here. He's the sign guy in the area. As his
Cool.
slogan goes, the sign of a good business is a business with a good sign.
I love it.
But yeah, I was going to do his family portraits that day, but it kind of rained and that it was kind of miserable. So we're like, I get to his house. He's like, oh, I thought we were just going to cancel because the weather wasn't very good. I said, if we can cancel, we could do it another day if you want. Cause I was just doing it on a Sunday for him. And he said, well, here, let me show you the area. So he took me around to his backyard and he showed me all this stuff and that. And then he said, well, while you're here, can I take a picture of with my bike? So I took a picture of him with his bike, but I saw this area right here. This is a little shed he has in his backyard.
Nice.
It's where he goes to have like drink a beer or hang out with his buddies and play cards or whatever. It's only like a little 10 by 10 little man-made shed he did with the old rustic stairs and that old gas can, if you can see it right here kind of thing, or whatever, the water can or whatever. I said, here, sit right there. I want to get a picture of you. And this is all available light. There's nothing. It was just an impromptu 7200 standing way back, zoomed in at about probably close to 200. And zoomed right in and just had him looking off to the yonder, just being himself. And I just clicked a couple shots. And so the sun's actually, there's trees all around him. So the sun's coming from above up here like this, just open shade coming into his backyard.
Nice.
So I like it. It's one of my favorite shots. And it was just an impromptu. We were even planning to do that day. We just shot it, but it totally showed his personality.
Mm-hmm.
That's my friend Jody. She wanted some pictures with her motorcycle. So we went to a schoolyard and to their parking lot. We had nice fall colors behind them, all open shade. Because I brought my flash, but I forgot my trigger for my flash.
Oh,
so I had no way of having my flash on a stand by her and me standing all the way back at 200 millimeters and triggering my flash. So
well, you didn't need the damn flash, so it was a sign from God.
Possibly because I love that shot. I think it looks awesome.
Oh yeah, probably better than any. Well, You think about it.
And then, of course, you know how much I love doing weddings, but I thought I'd show some from just a couple here from my wedding day. So this is at one of the places in Quebec, just across the border from here. And this was a wedding I did at this country kitchen place, Nat. And this is all natural light, no flash there. You can see the light. I always put the light behind them of the sun. Yeah. And I get that nice little halo around them. And then they're just having a little moment there. And I'm just zoomed in with I use my 7200 for almost everything. I'd say about 95% is my 7200.
I'm getting the 70 to 200, by the way. I'm selling.
I love it.
Times.
I find that I can stand a lot further back and let them just be them. Let them do their thing, and I can just sit there shooting away and maybe put them in the basic pose, and then I just tell them, hey, just talk amongst each other. I'll be right with you in a second. I'm pretending like I'm fixing my camera, and then they go into moments like this, and I just pull my camera up and shoot. And because it's natural light, they don't know I'm shooting because there's no flashes going off.
You posed this. Don't lie.
So that one I did. I put them in that pose, but then they were just being themselves for a second there.
Cool.
And
that's nice.
It is very nice, and I love black and white.
Photographers don't exaggerate.
No, never. And that was in the backyard of his house there. Him and his guys were doing the getting ready, and then we had him outside waiting to shoot the other guys. And I think another guy pulled up or something and said something to him, and he started laughing. And I just happened to have my camera up, so I just click, and got that nice natural shot. All natural light, just sun coming right from the one side, but it was a cloudy day.
Nice.
And so I was able to get nice subdued light instead of a
Brian says I find I shoot 135 to 200 a lot for these magic moments. So pretty much what you're doing there, right?
Because then they sometimes don't even know you're there. They just forget you're even there.
You try and push towards the 200 if you can, right? So more distance.
No, exactly. And then this was an old ad that I used to run probably around 2000 and I want to say 12, 2013 when this couple got
your wedding days
and my wedding phase. And this was an underpass, actually similar to the one you showed, that one couple with that underpass.
Nice.
And people had graffitied all over the wall of the inside of the underpass. So the light is actually on
John,
this
side. Wedding images rock. You should sell your soul and come over to the dark side.
Well, this was more of a fashion-y type wedding. It was good. We were able to do
Can I critique this image?
What's that?
Can I critique this image and
you sure can.
Okay. I love the fact that she's got the predominance of the light. He's in shadow.
Yep.
Hate the fact that her right hand is a clump on top of his shoulder.
Yeah, I know. I would have changed that later on too. I maybe would have had it more finessed on her neck or something.
Yeah, finessed. And her left hand could have been finessed too, either on his lapel or up.
Yeah, up on the chest or something.
Nag, nag,
I
nag.
agree with you totally.
I know.
And
That was a long time ago. You were young
it
and naive.
was. I was fairly new. I'm not new at weddings. I've been doing weddings quite a while, but I was. This is after I joined NoBS, of course, and I was starting to learn how to properly do stuff. So I was
You were
getting in
still
there,
learning.
and I was still learning. But they were happy with them. We got some wicked shots from. They had an old black 1950s type car. I can't remember what it was. It was really nice, and we did some shots with that too. But I just like this moment here. I just thought I put
Cool.
them in. I said, okay, I want you guys to get close, and I'm always guys in the hands and pockets. I don't like them out.
It's beautiful.
And then I just
Open
happened to
shade.
capture this. So that's the only ones I was able to grab at that short notice.
That's
So
good. That's good. We're out of
yeah.
time anyways. And you keep mentioning the 70 to 200. And I told my wife a couple months ago, I said, I should really get a 70 to 200. The reason I don't have one, when I switched to Sony 7 years ago, they didn't have one. They
for the
came out,
mirrorless.
yeah, they came out with the G Master 70 to 200 later. And
Okay.
I'm like, oh, that's sweet. Gotta get one. Well, it's convenience, right? I have an 85 and a 135, and switching lenses is such a pain in the ass. So what my next step is, and I've already planted seeds, is I'm going to sell the 2 primes, put that money towards either a new or slightly used 70 to 200. And but I want to make sure it's sharp. So
Yeah.
because that Bathurst line is off the charts sharp. So it's got to be, I don't think it'll be as sharp, but I think it'll be, pretty damn close.
No,
So that's where I'm
exactly.
going. Yeah, I love the 72-200. I miss it. And I didn't miss it when the Sony didn't have one available. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm going to just keep with my primes here. But now that they came out with the 70-200,
Yeah. That doesn't come off my camera half the time.
yeah, I like that too. Less dust on your sensor.
Yeah. I just love it. I just love the range because I don't like the I like the compression it gives. It makes, as the women go, when they always want me to take their picture, like, make sure you put your skinny lens on because they know it compresses and makes them skinnier.
All right, John. Okay, what about the 70-200 to do, say, on location headshots?
Yep.
The shot wide at 200, one light
Yep.
reflector.
I do it all the time. Even in the studio, when I'm doing the Peter Hurley stuff, I'm using my 7200, but I've actually been starting to go back to the 90 to 100 on that lens because I know Peter says he likes that 90 millimeter for his shots. You get a little closer, but I don't like being that close to the client when I'm shooting. I find it very impersonal in a way that you're getting in their space and they can't be free to be themselves. I find when I step further back and zoom in more on them, it compresses the background. You get the more bokeh behind them if it's outdoors, especially. But on top of that, I just like to have not too far of a distance that I'm screaming at them, but it's just far enough that you can let them be themselves and be free, and they don't feel so cramped and claustrophobic, if that makes sense.
Well, I'm thinking with the 200, you get that look. Who's that Calgary photographer that shoots that way? He shoots with one light reflector, 200. And he gets this amazing results for headshots.
Yeah.
In the studio, I can't see it being a thing because it's kind of a neutral backdrop.
Yeah.
But he shoots them on location with various different scenes that go.
But I like it in the studio too because when you zoom more in, it does do something to the face compared to when you're wider angled. It does, when they're wider angle, it does bring the face. Now it depends too. I know some people, if they're very, very, very skinny and you just want to put a little bit more meat on their face to make them so they don't look so thin and sickly looking, I guess I don't know what the word is, but you can actually go a little wider angle lens. It'll add a little beef to it. Or if somebody's a bigger person and you want to slim them out a little bit, you can zoom right in 200 and it will slim them out a little bit. I know Photoshop, you can do it too, but I try and get as much done in camera as I can. I learned that from you guys, with you and James all the time, where when you're shooting on location, shooting JPEG all the time, doing all your old videos you guys did for NoBS, was always try and get it right in camera, because the way I look at it, I don't make money sitting in front of a computer all day, for every day editing. I make money the more shoots I do. So if I can get out there and do more shoots and not have to sit in front of a computer all the time, I'm making more money. So, and you get a better file that way and better images that way. So get it right in camera if you can.
Yeah. Well, I've always said that 90% of your success is getting it right in camera as far as all aspects are
I
concerned.
think I know who you're talking about too. That guy in Calgary. He's like Polish.
His work is amazing.
He got it from there was a show or there was a site. I don't know if they still have it called F Stoppers, and they had a guy on there from the States that did that lighting, and he learned it from him, and he just perfected it, and he's been doing amazing. I know who you're talking about. I have him on Facebook, but I forget his name now.
Hold on, I want to
Polish
show
guy
this.
with glasses. But
We're gonna
I
end
do that sometimes. My on location stuff. I do that. It's one light he has coming this way. He has and he usually just uses
John, wait a
his
sec.
speed
I'll be
light.
right back.
Yep. He uses his speed lights, and then he has a reflector underneath, and then he has another one coming as a backlight, as a kicker, and it works really, really well. And let's see. Oh yeah, we already said that. Find that 135 and I'm the same way, Brian. I like to zoom in. I don't know. I just like the compression. I like the look of it. I like just most things about it. I really, really like it. So most of the time, even when I'm doing a lot of charity work and I have my flash on camera, I got to be careful, because if you do zoom in too much and you're shooting on location with a direct flash on top, like reporter paparazzi type style, you will get a lot of red eye. So unless you bounce the flash properly or you do it right, because you will get the red eyes zooming in, because that little narrow depth of field. So I was just saying, Rob, the one thing you got to watch when you're doing a 7200 is if you're on location, say doing like a reception, say where you're using flash, it's like paparazzi style, and you have the flash on camera. If you're zooming into 200, you got to make sure you're bouncing or the flash is as far away as the lens as you can, because you will get red eyes. If you don't, you'll get the red eye. You do have to watch that.
I got to tell you something.
You can tell me anything you want.
So a couple of weeks ago, I texted Dave Union. I've had him on before. Was it Youngian or Junion? Junion. Dave's longtime, he's an amazing photographer. He used to tour with Sandy Puch back in the day.
Okay.
And had a couple of good presentations with him. So I texted him. I said, I'd like to get you in on one of our photo buzzes, and check this out. So he just posted these 7 hours ago. Can you see the screen?
Yep, the cellist, whatever you call them.
Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I love those colored ones there. That's beautiful.
I mean, this is freaking amazing. So he did this post, and I went in. Look at that. Look at the colors.
Oh, I know. Isn't it gorgeous? Like that one there. I love that. The reds, the greens, the blues.
So I texted him last week, and he replied. He says, "I'm really busy. Going to get back to you." Sure. He bought a new studio, and he's in the middle of it, like crazy. It looks like he's really busy. So I said, "Okay, fine." And then I'm like, "Oh, he's going to forget about me." So I know how to get him. So I went and put a comment here. Amazing. You get better as you get older. We got to talk. So he just responded like 5 minutes ago while we were doing this. So he suggested, I haven't confirmed with him, but he suggested April 14th. So next week, which is March 31st, on Thursday, we have Robin Spencer. And then the week after, we got Nancy Tilburg coming back on one of her promotions. She had done a women's promotion. And then I'm going to confirm it, but Dave just suggested April 14th.
Okay.
And then the week after, we got Marilyn Scholin. So we got 4 speakers after today.
Very cool. Then maybe after that, I'll have time to put together between now and the end, maybe end of April, early May. I'll put together one of my sports one with the hockey, how I did all the hockey, because I've got everything back from the hockey now. And so I'll have samples I can show from the final product and stuff. We can do maybe half of a show on that.
Cool.
I think I found the guy you were talking about in Calgary too.
What's his name?
Raphael Weigel.
That's him.
Yeah, because I've been paying attention to him for a long time. Very good. He's the one that he uses the trying to find where he might have photos here and that. But yeah, he has the one light that comes in just using a speed light, and then he has a reflector underneath, and then he has another one with a speed light coming opposite, like a kicker light.
How do you spell his last name?
Weigel. Wiel. Rafael Weigel.
There he is.
He's really good. And you can see the catch lights in the eyes, one from his light, one from his reflector. And then he has one coming as a kicker light, the opposite of his main light. And then he usually puts one on the background. If I'm not mistaken, that background there, he actually made that himself. He has a big board that
Yep.
he actually put
He shows that.
tinfoil and that on it. And
Oh,
then he
it
just
is.
puts a colored flash on it.
You got some more images from him? No, I'm bringing this guy up, because he shoots with 70 to 200 at 200. That's something I can see doing, depending on the backdrop, because you want that blurred, that depth.
See, this is his actual page here, and you can see right there how he does it.
So simple.
Yep, just 2 lights and a reflector, and then sometimes he'll do a third one on the background if he has to. And then from that, he gets stuff like I don't know if they have it on here. I'll find yours too, like that. Like it's phenomenal what he does.
That's on location. This is what I'm talking about.
On location with just those 2 lights and a reflector. That's all he does.
There you go.
So what was the guy you wanted? Sorry.
Pardon me?
Did you say, can I find another guy?
No, this is it.
Oh, you want to know him? Okay, yeah, but that's his page right there.
Yeah, we should get him on.
Definitely, I'll reach out to him.
Cool. I was hoping you'd say that.
Yeah, no, I'll reach out to him and see. I love his stuff. He learned it from a guy. I'll have to find out the guy's name. A really good, popular photographer in the States, Southern States, I think, who did the same thing. And I think he learned it from him, and then I learned it from both of them. So
we can all do the same thing and swipe and develop our own unique branded look. So why not?
Definitely. No, I agree. And I've done many shots. If you go to my website, I know we're coming late on time here, but if you go to my website, that picture right there, right dead in the center, that was shot in that same style as Rafael did.
Can't
right
even
on
tell.
location in her studio. That she's a fitness trainer in that, and that was the girl on the motorcycle I showed you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was just one light coming in, reflector underneath, and another one kicker coming back. So I mean, it's simple. And those were with speed lights.
All right, I'm out of here.
Sounds like a plan. I'm gonna stop sharing, and we're gonna say ciao bella.
You hear that? It's the beach calling.
Not me. I just got all my hockey orders. 26 teams just came in while we were talking.
Oh,
so
nice.
I gotta go put them all together for the hockey.
I know what you're doing today.
All right, we'll have fun at the beach, and we'll chat.
Yeah, thanks for doing this, and thanks for showing up, everybody. We will talk soon.
Check these all later.